and today we are actually going to be doing something a bit different. We are actually going to start doing, at least on this channel, we're going to start doing podcasts and talk about just everything in the world. Because everything needs to be talked about right now.
Exactly.
So, yes, it's still me controlling the game, but I've chosen to start playing a bit more Minecraft. That way we can actually be able to talk about things easier. And it can probably help you guys too, just to be in the chats and be calm.
What's up, people?
So yeah, we're gonna start calling it Real2Real, and as just like a placeholder name for now. But if it sticks, it sticks, and we will just talk about real life and everything that's going on.
That's what we're here for.
So,
They can hear me though, right?
what were you saying before?
I was saying, so if the devil is really all that bad, and like he was like so upset about being cast out to hell to rule it or whatever, and if he was really as bad as people say he is, wouldn't he have already destroyed Earth? He's a ruler now, just as much as the so-called God is, and I'll say this again for anybody who watches or wants to replay from the start. Like, I'm not religious. I don't have anything against religion either. Like,
Yeah,
but
same here.
but I find it hard to believe in something that I don't even know is there. I get it's called believing for a reason, that you have to actually put the belief in for it to like be real or whatever. But what I don't get is why everybody thinks that just because they believe in something, they can force it on other people.
Yeah, and that's like I said before. We were actually talking about a lot of this beforehand. That the world after this generation will not understand how life was. They'll only understand
Exactly.
how their own thought processing is, and not look at the bigger picture. And that's what life is looking at the bigger picture and seeing everything that's happening, and not just going with your own volition. Yes, you should be your own volition, be your own person, but don't do it at the expense of someone else's pain. Don't do it at the expense of someone else's thoughts or beliefs, because that gets people hurt to the point where you yourself can't even come back from.
Exactly. And people say, oh, God created everyone equal in His image or whatever. If it was really in His image, and He gave us free will, why everybody think that they gotta... Why everybody think that just because one person is transgender or black or something else like that, why everybody gotta think that that's wrong?
It's morally not, and that's where a lot of the problems come from. Now, I'm not blaming anyone in any community, but I do kind of put a bit of blame on the LGBT community right now for the fact that they've shown that they don't like everyone, And granted, that's not a bad thing, no. But, like, when you show that you don't like everyone, you give everyone a reason to not like you.
Exactly. And what do people feel when nobody likes them, or when other people don't like them, or whatever?
They feel a hatred towards them, and somewhere that they get to a place where they can't get back out of. And that's where depression and everything really starts. And
Exactly.
us talking about this, we both have had it. We both have
Have
lived
had
with
it.
it.
Had. We have it. We have had it.
That is true too. Is that we still are living with it, and that's a problem where a lot of people don't understand. Is that
And that's the problem with today and its people. Nobody understands nobody. If everyone could take the time to think, that's all it takes. A little bit of brain power. Hell, even the teachers don't fucking think, apparently, because there's racist teachers, there's fucking biased teachers, there's teachers who don't give a fuck about nobody but the people who actually take the time to fall in with their bullshit. And yes, I will be swearing, because I feel that if I need to say what needs to be said, that I should not hold myself back from being who I am, from being the way I am, or acting the way I act. See, that's the thing. People think that, oh, you swear and like, oh, you're going to hell. No. Because, and I'm not targeting y'all, but to all y'all Christians out there, if you really, really want to be in the grace of whatever y'all believe in, I'm not trying to sound like I don't care. I do care. I mean, everyone's a person. Everyone. And for those who are monsters in disguise as people,
wish you guys good luck with your life.
I mean, you can say you wish them good luck. I mean, if they're monsters disguised as people, like people who really couldn't give a shit about nobody else.
My reasoning for saying that is because everyone has the right to not be judged. But those who show that they couldn't care less about who they are the problem. And that's where we're trying to get at with this podcast. Is that we're trying to get to a point where we're trying to show people that the world is more than what it is. And with this idea that we are starting to come up with, we're gonna start involving you, chat. We're gonna involve what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and we're going to talk about everything. No matter how small you may think it is, everything matters.
Exactly.
In a world where we're living in right now, everything needs to be looked at, especially the little things. We all need to look at it and not have fear about it all.
And I'll tell you what, watcher, listen close. Same to you, chat. Fear is the biggest setback that you could ever have. Sorry if you hear any background noise, I'm fixing me up some coffee. Because if this is going to go how I think it's going to go, it's going to be quite a long podcast. Honestly, I'm here for it. But earlier you said your reasoning for saying that was because you feel everybody has the right to not be judged. I believe that too. But there are monsters in this world. And like I said, they are people disguised as monsters, or monsters disguised as people, whatever you want to say. And whether people like to admit it or not, these people do not care. What is the number one problem, Watcher, in this world with the people?
Is that nobody cares about other people. Everything in this
Exactly.
world has become to a point where you can't get out of who you are. No matter how hard you change, no matter how hard you want to change, everyone's gonna have their own notions of who they think you are, and you can't change that. Which is what, again, is what I'm trying to. Me and Caleb here are trying to come up with this podcast. Is that the reason we called it Real2Real is because, like he put it when we right before we started everything, real conversation to a real conversation.
Real motherfucker to a real motherfucker. Don't matter how many motherfuckers there is. If you're a real motherfucker, it's a real motherfucker to a real motherfucker. It don't matter.
And when you have so many people, especially with the small community that I have, I know you guys actually enjoy watching some of the content. I've seen it, and chat. You guys understand everything a lot more than most people that I've seen. You guys give a lot to what you do, and that's how everything should be in this world. But we shouldn't be blaming others for one person's thing, for one person's mistake. You shouldn't be doing that.
Exactly. If you really want to go somewhere with your life, people, start caring about other people. Don't matter who they are, what they do, what they believe, like what they are, because I know some people don't identify as people, they identify as something else, or someone else, whatever. And to that I say, good luck. But be prepared to be judged, because people nowadays, no matter who they are, what they believe, everyone judges someone off at some point. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter why, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where.
You will always be judged.
Yes.
And that's the sad truth about everything, is that no matter how hard you're gonna try and get out of it, you're gonna be judged no matter what. And it's sad.
It is. It really is sad. And honestly, I can speak from personal experience. Some people who believe that they are in the right, or that, I'm not targeting Christianity. I'm just using this as an example because my family is Christian. I'm not. But my family is Christian. And they say, "Thou shalt not judge another person for appearance, ethnicity, or the belief that they hold, or the belief that they follow." I mean, my bad. But what do? My family, I can speak on a personal level and say a lot of people in my family who are Christian judge other people for those exact things for no exact reason. For well, really doesn't matter what for or why. Judging somebody is not something anybody should do.
And that's something
Yeah.
that I've tried to help people understand, just in life in general, is that you shouldn't judge someone based on who they are. You shouldn't judge someone based on what they're doing. It's all about how it's done, is what really gets to people. And that's a sad truth to see with so many like YouTubers who end up failing, is that they put so much faith into things, and they get themselves hurt in the long run, or they get put down to where nobody sees it, and they don't give themselves credit. Seeing someone like that is going seeing yourself get to a point where you feel like you can't do anything is going to hurt yourself. Never feel like you can't do anything, because you can. Getting to points in your life, and mainly with anyone with depression or anxiety or anything, you get to a point in your life where you feel like you're not good enough, or you get to a point where you feel like nothing can help. But there are people who truly do care, and the people who don't care will show you. With certain people in this life, you're going to find those who truly just don't care about you. You're going to find those who just couldn't care less. You really
And
need...
yes, it may be sad. Yes, it may break your heart. But if you let it fully break you, then that's when you truly start to lose.
and being and losing yourself in a game where you're not gonna be able to escape from is the hardest thing you can come back from. After...
If you can come back from it at all.
Exactly, because both me and Caleb here have known people, and this will get a bit dark, but we both have known people to end their lives because they feel like they weren't good enough, or they feel like
And
they
I'm
could
not.
have done
And I'm.
something, and they end their lives because they feel it wasn't good for them, or anything like that. Trust me when I say this, chat. If you feel that way, please talk to someone. Anyone out there, even if it's your family, talk to someone, because someone is out there that can help. You're always gonna have the good people, and you always will have the bad people. It's never gonna be one-sided. It may seem that way, but in the end, there are people who care. Truly care. About you, about your life. And it's the biggest thing anyone's able to tell anyone, is that you matter. Even when you may think that you don't, you matter. And I've gotten to a point in my life where I've almost ended it. And I come back from it. It's hard to. It really is. But if you get past it, you're able to do anything that you put your mind to. Living
That's
to a point
exactly right.
where you can feel safe in your own body, in your own mind, will be able to help you a lot. even though people may call you out and say anything, do what you believe is actually right. Do what you believe is for yourself. And I
Exactly.
truly believe that there is good in this world. It's just not everywhere. And with this podcast, hopefully we can try and make sense of this world. All of us who join the chat, all of us who actually talk in the podcast. I hope that one day we can all actually look back at this and see what this world can do, what difference we all can actually make. Because we all can.
Yep.
No matter how small that difference may be, we can make a difference in this world, one step at a time. And yes, it may be a slow pace to go at, but we're all making a difference every day that we wake up. And chat, let me tell you, waking up, just feeling like you can get out of bed is the best you can do in your entire life. Because you can get up, you can you can lay there and feel like crap all day. But in the end, that's not going to help. In the end, what is that really going to show yourself? You're going to show yourself that you feel like you can't actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And letting yourself feel that way is never okay.
But I say this much. Once you hit rock bottom, the only direction that you can go is up. Sometimes people need to be humbled before they can actually start changing and doing better for themselves and others. Whether it be you, whether it be your family, your mother, your brother, your sister, your father, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your significant other, depending on how they see themselves. And the sad part is, even people who are transgender and know that that's what they're meant to be in life, a lot of people who are transgender and think that's what they're supposed to be in life still end up unhappy. Now, I know this for a fact because I've had people in my life who end up feeling the same way, doing the same things. But even those people still end up unhappy, still end up ending their life over something that they either could or could not control. And it's not good.
Being in control doesn't mean that you yourself have to do what you say. Being in control really just means that you can make a difference in someone else's life without knowing it. You can touch someone.
Being in control also means you can take charge in your life, be who you want to be, and not give a fuck what any of the negative people in this world say. It doesn't matter. You could be like done with life, fucking hating everything around you, and still end up in a better spot than you once were. And I mean, it's sad, but it's true. I mean, how many people nowadays do you know that have control over themselves and their life,
I don't know
and
many.
can actually say, I'm happy with my life. I've taken control over myself and my life and the way I do things, and I'm quite happy with it. How many people can you say you know that have that attitude?
I don't know a lot.
That's more than I can say. I don't know hardly any.
I know people may chat. You may think that what we're saying doesn't amount to anything, and you, for all we know, we could be wrong about what we're saying, but we're talking about how we think, how we feel, how we've lived our lives. And it's hard when we've experienced it all. Well, we haven't experienced it all, but we've experienced a good bit of it. And
Watcher, I'm sorry to cut you off here, but I have a serious question for you. Do you feel that what you're saying is incorrect? Do you feel what you're saying is not the truth, is not your truth, and will not be true to anybody else?
I'm not saying what I feel is. I'm saying what I'm saying is I feel everything is true to me. I don't. The way that I see things and
If
view
you
things
feel
is that.
everything is true to you, then what we're saying is not wrong. What we're saying is not a lie. It may not be true to other people, but it
But it's
will
true
always
to
be true
us.
to you. Exactly. Therefore, it is our truth. It is our uh, what do you call it? Our, I'm not gonna say gospel, but it is our story. We are trying to help other people from our experiences. So, in my mind, I can't see in any universe, in any timeline, in any situation, how anything that we are saying right now is wrong.
Exactly.
Now, I know a lot of people will go out and like try and believe all the stuff that we say is true to them. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to everybody, telling them, oh, if you change your mindset, it'll always make you feel better. Not all the time, no. But majority of the time, trying is better than not. You
And
could
it
live
really
your whole
is.
life. You could live your whole life and not try a single damn thing out of fear that it won't be the right choice for you or whatever you want to make an excuse to say. But there's a thing in this life, in this world, called trial and error. If you never try, you'll never know. You'll never learn. You'll never have any experience to help others learn from either. And with that, I say, if you are going to try something, if you are going to do something, put your utmost effort into it. It don't matter what you're doing, why you're doing it, when you're doing it. It don't matter. Always put maximum amount of effort in anything you do. Because if you choose a path, stay on that path. Don't backtrack just because other people are trying to tell you it's wrong or just because you feel like it isn't the right way to go. No. Worst way to live your life is to go against yourself because of what someone else says. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, it doesn't matter who says what. For all you know, it could just be nonsense that they're talking. That any like if they tell you that everything you say or anything you say is a goddamn lie, what does that what does that say about them?
It says that they're insecure more about themselves than they are with anyone else.
Exactly right.
Life
Anyone who tries
is.
to tell you that you're wrong is wrong. You shouldn't have to feel sorry for thinking the way you think. You shouldn't have to feel bad for someone else saying that you're doing something wrong or that you're doing something the way that isn't right. You should always have faith in your own capabilities. Always believe that what you're doing is right. But any situation you're in, if you feel that you're going against your own moral compass, then you are wrong. If you feel like you're not doing something that your morals or that your mindset relates to, then you're not doing it right. You're doing it completely wrong. I'm not saying this to be harsh or cruel. I'm saying this to be real. If you honestly think that you'll get anywhere in life by going against your own morals just because of what someone else says or does, then I'm sorry to tell you, but you're completely wrong. You're heading the wrong path, and you should change the way you're going. I know you should always stay going on the path that you chose, but if it's against what you believe, against what your morals are, right, don't do
Exactly.
it. Change. People change on a daily basis, whether it be willingly, whether it be unwillingly. Everybody changes. It's a natural human instinct and reflex to avoid making the same mistake twice. Because if you don't ever change and you go into, say you go into a bar, right? And you are in a bad mood, and just because of that, you decide that for once you're going to be an asshole. Just because you're in that one bad mood. Do you think that just because you're in a bad mood, you should make other people suffer because of it?
You shouldn't.
Exactly. If you make others suffer because of your wrongdoings or because of your shitty mood, then you need to get better. Alright? There's no such thing as
A
getting
perfect
even.
world.
There's no such thing as a perfect world. No. There's no such thing as getting even. There's no such thing as getting right or getting wrong, or getting weak or getting strong. There is, however, such a thing as getting better. And that only comes by learning from your mistakes and doing better the next time that something like this happens. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you, oh, like, you're getting weak, or, oh, just because, just because I go against, like, what you're feeling or what you're doing or saying, that you're getting, like, wrong or something like that. No, it's not right at all. And if I ever like acted like that, I would honestly expect a punch to the fucking face. And if you didn't, I would tell you to.
Exactly.
Yes, maybe after I've done it and said what I said. But does that change the fact that I said what I said or did what I did? No. And see, that's the thing. People can do things all they like. People can say things all they like. But if people are just going to sit there and criticize your work on getting better, what does that do for anybody else? What does that do for them? And this is a genuine question. I want if there's people in chat actually taking this in and listening, start listening in chat. What does that do for them? What does that make them? What does that say about them? And watcher, I want you to answer too. This is another question for you as well, but it's also for the chat too.
It makes them feel like that they can't do much. Yes, granted, life isn't sunshine and rainbows like everyone thinks it is, but you have to make the best out of it while you can.
Exactly. And I'm going to say this right now. If you... No, I'm not going to put it that way. Whoever told you life would be easy, I promise that person was lying to you. And I know you know exactly what that's from too, Watcher, because you listened to the person who put that in their song.
Yes. NF made a song, don't remember what song. He made a song that was about telling people what everything is. And the most notable line from that song is whoever told you life would be easy, I promise that person was lying to you. That line has stuck with a lot of people, and that line stuck with me for a long time. Because
and I'll tell you the song that line came from. That line came from a song called "Lost in the Moment" from NF. And honestly, he speaks the truth in a lot of his songs.
And
I'm not gonna sit here and... My bad. Sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
When we talk about this, we are trying to talk to you, chat. That some people out there do need to hear this, is that because a lot of people are going through a rough time. A lot of people are going through life trying to make it better. You can't... It doesn't get better overnight. It really doesn't.
It takes time, dedication, hard work. It takes a lot just to make anything start to change. And I mean, it's the truth. Like, if you sit all your life, right, and you expect something to happen without doing anything to have it happen, is it going to happen?
And that's where a lot of people get confused in life. Because it won't happen unless you make it happen.
Exactly. You can't sit there and tell yourself that something's going to happen. and not do anything to help that change or event happen. Because if you do that, you're just being lazy. And I'm not trying to say anyone's lazy just because they don't feel like doing something. Although sometimes for people who actually have the choice and have the ability to do something and make it happen, but just won't do it, those are the ones who are lazy. The ones who are not lazy are the ones who don't have a choice. Who don't have a choice. They actually physically and mentally are so drained and worn down that anything they do or try or say will usually backfire on them, or it will only lead them down the wrong road. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there's a right or wrong path. That's not for me to decide.
It's for you to come up with your own decision.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was getting at.
You come up with how your life is. You come up with everything.
Exactly.
Which
And
also could lead into everything that happens into someone's life. To bring up, and I'm sorry if this will bring up any childhood trauma for anyone in the chat, for when in the comments, for when this video, or when it turns into a video, that you may think you're not enough. And that's okay. But don't end anything just because someone said it. You come up with your lifestyle. You come up with how you think. Don't let someone tell you how to be.
Don't let anyone tell you how to live your life, what you're doing wrong, how wrong it is, or why it's wrong. Because at the end of the day, anyone who tells you that you're wrong for doing something you believe in, honestly, is one of two things. Either they're just an asshole and just don't care enough to let others live their life, or they genuinely have insecurities that they are not able to overcome, or they really just don't feel comfortable in their own skin. I mean, and I know I said insecurities. That's not what I mean. Not quite. Because there's a difference between having insecurities and not feeling comfortable in your own skin. Not feeling comfortable in your own skin is more like, what is it like?
It's a lot like having. It's a lot like having your cake and actually eating it.
Yep. That's exactly it.
Getting to a point in your life where you're not comfortable in your own skin makes you feel bad. Because your mind is so caught up in a moment where you can't think straight, where you can't, where you feel like you're not enough. And I've said this on multiple streams of mine. I've said this in multiple times to multiple people. We as people can't do enough in our lives to show who we are. All we can do is try.
You know, our country was built on the whole idea that we the people, that's what I'm trying to get at here. We the people, if we the people, and this is another big problem in today's world. So we're all people fallen victim to the government and its tyranny. And why are we all so caught up on tearing each other down when we should be helping each other out? And before anyone gets the idea, no, we're not trying to overthrow the government. That is a horrible idea. Many people have tried throughout history. Many people have failed. But the government is only holding us back. Hell, schools nowadays are trying to convince you that you don't have any rights. I know the school I go to, you can walk in with a backpack and have nothing illegal on you. No suspicion, nothing. And they can take your bag, like, from the start of the day. And they can make it to where you don't get your bag until after school is over.
Which is a bad way to do things. It really is.
They make it a habit of telling the students they can search your person if you are on school property. Do you think that is actually a good way to live at all?
It isn't.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. Because the school I go to, right? I'm 17, I still go to school. I mean, I'm legally required to at this point in my life. Do you think that it is okay for anyone to search your person at all, no matter what the situation, without your consent, unless they have probable cause?
Without probable cause, it is illegal. And a lot of people nowadays just don't care about that. And
they don't.
It needs to be said
I'll be the first to tell you, I don't like it. I am one of the victims to this. And I go to school. I don't bring a bag. You want to know what I go to school with? I bring my computer that they make us use. And I bring a pencil. Sometimes I bring a pad. A pencil and pad. Right?
Yeah.
I have gotten so fed up of being searched every day that I don't actually bring anything else other than my phone, my earbuds. But other than that, I can't tell you anything that I've actually brought to school other than that. Just because of this new rule. I mean, yeah, they have a sign that says if you are on school property, like within school grounds, that you are subject to search. They even have a sign that tells you are subject to search. From them, anytime they can pull a random search, they can empty your pockets, they can have you empty your pockets, which is not entirely illegal, but they make it out like you don't have a choice in the matter. They make it out like you're going to be arrested if you say no to a search.
And that's not making anyone feel safe. That doesn't make anyone feel safer ever.
Exactly. Like, I go to a school where it's full of just straight troubled kids. Right? Well, it doesn't help anybody if the troubled kids are getting treated more and more like troubled kids instead of actual kids.
And my whole thing about schools, because I've recently graduated, in 2021, I graduated.
Oh yeah, congratulations, by the way. I forgot to tell you that last time we talked.
We, at that school, had a lot of trouble with with the whole COVID thing, and I know that's still a major thing going around in society right now. And people are still afraid to show who they are. People are so afraid of who they actually
why
are.
wouldn't you be? Schools are literally making it out like you're the bad guy for doing nothing wrong. Like, you could be sitting in your desk, or in your seat, whatever you call it. Right? Well, let's say they see one kid who's acting suspicious. No probable cause, nothing. Just because the kid looks suspicious to them. You and the entire school could get searched. Right then, right there. Doesn't matter where you are. You could be eating lunch and enjoying your meal. And they just... and here's the thing. I remember one day in specific. They had everybody take off their shoes. Everybody. Didn't matter who you are, whether you were one of the troubled kids or not. Because some people were not troubled, they were there because they transferred to school late, right?
Yeah.
Well, to the teachers and principal, it doesn't matter. You are, and I hate to say this because there are some good teachers, they're just doing their job, listening to the authority of the principal, but most of the teachers there see the students as property. It's like, some of the teachers, as soon as you hit the school grounds, right, they will, it doesn't even have to be the principal. The teachers can, like, pull you aside and have, like, a search of their own.
Which is just not politically correct.
Like, I get the principal asking teachers to do it, and the teachers following along, but why do these teachers think that they have the right to actually pull students aside on their own without the principal or the parents' permission, and just pull a random search on one or the whole class, one specific kid or the whole class? There are teachers in my school that do that.
And that's morally wrong.
That is. And it's sad to see. You don't hardly see kids nowadays who are truly safe from searches. Doesn't matter who you are. You could be sitting down outside of school getting ready to walk in, and they'll search you before you even hit school grounds. It's actually happened before, to me nonetheless.
I hate seeing that happen to anyone. And that leads me into a conversation that a lot of people probably aren't ready for. That really leads me into the whole, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from anyone, but honestly, it needs to be said. That'll lead me into why school systems aren't proper. I've always had trouble. I've had trouble in school, and not just for the fact of me being ADHD. It was me being the fact that I've had a past of being a troubled kid who got in trouble a lot. I've always had that trouble in school until about I would say it was probably my freshman year of high school is really when I started to buckle down and actually get everything that I needed done. And teachers and people still look at you like you're insane if you don't do anything like that. If you don't learn to do anything.
Even if you do follow their shitty rules, they'll still, like, if you don't listen to one thing they tell you to do, like they tell you to go sit at the principal's office for no reason, like you absolutely do nothing, you're sitting there working on your test or reading your book, whatever they told you and your class to do, right? You could be sitting there doing whatever, fuck all, minding your own business, like doing your work, whatever, being the good kid. You could be sitting there doing that, and they tell you, go sit at the principal's office, you're in trouble for something. And you haven't done anything remotely close to that time period. And you tell them, I haven't done anything, I don't need to go sit at the principal's office, and I know I'm not in trouble. They will look at you sideways, and they will tell you, if you really believe you're not in trouble, you can keep this attitude up, or you can go and find out what you're in trouble for and get it over with, or tell them that you didn't do whatever you're being accused of doing. Like, it's terrible to see, because even the teachers sometimes make shit up just to get you out of class because they get a feeling that you're going to act up. My teachers have done the same thing to me.
And same thing with me too.
And it's not okay. Just off of a wee feeling that you're going to act up or something, or something's going to set you off, and they say you're in trouble just to get you out of the classroom.
And it's sad to see. We looking back at everything, and I mean this wholeheartedly, we as people look at everything in a whole different light than someone else may.
Exactly.
Also, hey, welcome into the chat, Nathan. Welcome to our podcast. We're not gonna normally talk with chat right now. We will talk to chat, but we'll interact with chat and everything. And right now,
what he's trying to say is there will be times where we talk to chat, and there will be times where we go off and have our own conversations that you guys can participate in, or that you guys can actually pitch into and tell your experiences, so That way we might be able to provide a little bit of
So,
insight for you
with that
guys.
being said, what's what's going on? How's everything? Because we've just been sitting here talking about like how school systems are corrupt to a society standpoint, and how everything's just not what it seems to be. We, me and Caleb here. Also, hi, my name's Chandler. If I've never said that before. And Caleb here are really talking about real life and how things are and how we see it and how we see our perspectives on life. That's the whole reason why we are starting to call this podcast Real2Real. And there's nothing wrong with being homeschooled.
Real life
There really
situations.
isn't.
Real
There's
life
nothing wrong with.
about
Yes.
real
There's
life issues.
there's nothing wrong with being homeschooled. Yeah, it can get a bit boring, but you're still learning. You're still going to be able to get your diploma. You'll still be able to go out there if you so chose to. You can still go out there and go to college. Your life is how you make it. Be your own person. And I, myself, can't stress that enough, and I know Caleb here says the same thing. Be your own person. Live your life how you want.
Be your own person, but hell, even right now, I still struggle being my own person. Stuck at home, like, plenty of authority keeping me from who I really am. No one really understands that I'm trying to live my life the way I feel is right. And that leads me into another thing that we were just talking about. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Chandler.
Oh, you're fine.
Be who you want to be. Don't let nobody else, like, talk you out of doing something that you set your mind to. Like, if you're wanting to join the military, right? Say you're going there to tighten up or something for the benefits, anything, right? Well, say you're going into the military, and your family's like, oh, you won't make it, you're not built for the military, you're not going to make it past boot camp, you're not going to really do anything there that would actually help you out in real life. They are lying to you. They are trying to bring you down because they did not succeed the way they wanted. So they are trying to keep you from succeeding the way you want to. That is what they're doing. So never let anybody waver your decision. If you believe it's right for you, go for it. If it goes against your moral compass, your morals, your own ethics, your own beliefs, don't do it. If you know that it's going to go against something you believe in, something that you actually morally do not accept, do not go for it. And honestly, that leads me to another thing.
1 second.
Well,
sorry to cut you off, but when we say this, really, we're meaning, yes, live your life. Live how you are. I want to add on to that a little bit. Now, don't just go out there and murder someone, but do what you want as in a legal sense. Or make sure that it's not
legal and you can still get in trouble for it. The government is corrupted as can be. They're trying to drive the people apart when this country was actually made by who? The people. And by driving us apart, what does the government do? They cause chaos and they gain power. The more the chaos, the more power they gain.
And the more power they gain, the more chaos will ensue.
Which
It's
in the end leads to them gaining more power. It's a loop.
it's a vicious
They
cycle
have,
that no one can get out of. And
you can get out of
everyone
it,
is part of it.
but it's damn difficult. Only way you could really get out of it is like overthrowing the fucking government, and doing that is going to be a hell of a time because, and I'm not saying go for it, because honestly, in my opinion, whether the system is corrupt or not, it's a stupid ass fucking decision, and if you go for it, but I'm not telling you to.
We both live in the U.S. and we're going off of, like I said, how we think and how we believe in just the world and society today. We're not. We're telling people about our life experiences mainly and how we've learned to deal with things. Now, like I said, it might not work with everyone, but
That doesn't mean it's not true.
we we do things for how we believe and what we believe is right. Now, I know I'm kind of repeating myself when I say this, but we all have different beliefs. We all have different thoughts and theories and questions on life. But we all don't look at everything the same. And is it sad? Yes. But is that how we all differ from each other? Definitely. We all make our own decisions in life. Whether it be talk to this person, hang out with that person.
You'll
make
always
a
find
decision.
similarities with other people, but you'll also find a shit ton of differences alongside of those similarities. It's part of being human. It's part of what makes life exciting. Because if we're all the same, life would be boring. We'd all have the same schedule. We'd all have the same mindset, the same thought process. No one would ever have anything different to say. No one would ever have their own opinion. Nothing. That would also mean that the government would be the same as us. It's a scary thought, because not because the government would be the same as us, but because the government would know what we're thinking and have the same thought process. And if they know what we're thinking and have the same thought process, anything that we think they could use against us, whether we're not actually going to put it to use or not, or whether we're going to put it to use or not, they could lie and say, hey, this person's different, they're planning on doing something else out of what is supposed to be done, or what outside of what we are used to, or something like that. So basically, if they knew what we were thinking, so many people in the States would actually be so fucking fucked.
Yes.
No.
And even if you live in another country, I see that you said that you lived in Australia, Nathan. We're not when we're talking about like government stuff. We're talking about like how we like have dealt with things going on in the U.S. Do you believe in the vaccine?
Sorry
It's
for
just a
the
question.
accent.
Sorry if it's not. Oh, you're fine. Ask away with anything you want to ask. Uh, your
Also,
question
sorry for
was,
the
do you
accent.
believe in the vaccine? Are you talking about the
Honestly,
COVID vaccine, or
I do, but I don't. It's
because
hard to explain.
if you're talking about the COVID vaccine, then I don't believe that it's gonna help. I believe that it's kind of a ploy to get people to start looking at it, to saying, "Oh, it's going to help. It's going to help," and everything. But it only time can really tell, because yeah, we've all lived through, like,
I've
and
actually,
this is before our time. If you are under the age of, I think it's 24. If you're under the age of 24, there was a thing called the swine flu. You there was no cure, and that was really like, God, don't remember what year
also,
that was.
real quick, Watcher, I'm just going to kind of butt in for a second here. Just say two things. Alright? And then I'll let you get back to what you were saying. I hate to have interrupted you anyways. Um, One, I'd like to say, sorry for the accent. I do have a bit of mixed blood, and it kind of seeps out through the words a little bit. And then two, I've actually had the vaccine for COVID. I got the vaccine. I'd never had COVID before. And then I got the vaccine, and once I got the vaccine, about a week later, um, I'd have to say, I showed every symptom for COVID, every single one of them. Like, I had every symptom: headaches, coughing, sneezing. Uh, it fucked up my lungs real bad, especially where I smoke. But yeah, it fucked up my lungs. I was coughing like brown cotton looking stuff out for like about a month. Um, the headaches, the stomach pain, the lack of taste, the lack of smell, everything. It's terrible. That's why I don't believe in the vaccine, but also I haven't had it since that one time, so honestly I do sort of believe it.
Now, I've had only the first two shots of the vaccine, and about the December of 2019,
Oh, I'm fully vaccinated, by the way.
I've only had the first two shots, and around about I got the shots last year in June. I I went to the doctor probably about December of 2019, and the doctors said, you have something, but we don't know what it is. And they said that it was the same symptoms as the flu, but I didn't feel sick. I kind of felt sick, but I didn't. So it's hard to tell if the vaccine can even work, because it what it's said to do, what the vaccine is said to do, is that it's basically a fake version of the strain of the COVID strain that is being put into your body. So your body can create T bodies and antibodies for it. But who knows if those fake versions of the strain will even work? And a lot of the time, we don't know. That's the reason why this, like, just life right now is so hard. And nobody could have said it better, and this is going to go off track. Nobody could say anything better than Unis Honest did throughout their entire life cycle. If you've ever watched that YouTube channel, Unis Honest said it the best. You do with life as much as you can until it's over. That is the best tip of advice anyone can have. Because as people...
That's what you're supposed to do, actually. That's what we're put on this earth to do. That's why dogs and cats don't live as long as humans. Uh, we're born not knowing how to live life. Dogs and cats are born knowing how to live a full life. It's sad, but it's true. Their only purpose in this world is to actually help teach us humans how to live a full life.
And that raises to a point where we've all been through a lot. Alright, Nathan, have a good rest of your night. I know it's a bit late for us here. For us here, it's only 5:19 right now in the morning.
Oh, really?
And I hope you have a great rest of your day, rest of your night. Just remember, be safe. Because you never know what's going to happen. Always keep your head up. Always keep thinking positive.
It's better to think positive because, like, who knows? The moment you stop thinking positive, your life could end. It's a weird thing, but it's true. Like, and it's sad because the second that you stop being positive and your life ends, you didn't end positively. You ended negatively, and it doesn't end well. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's a sad thing, and it happens, but it's not nice.
And truly, with everything happening, this life really is meaningless when you get to know everything. But that's the reason why nobody truly knows everything. It's why everyone's searching for something, searching for their purpose. And that's the best advice that I've been able to give anyone, is to search for who you are. Don't be someone just because you may think it's right. Be yourself. And anything else in life, take it as it comes. You can't
roll with the punches.
You can't just go around expecting something to happen. Now, I'm gonna turn the tide to a different section of the conversation. So, Caleb, you've been through a lot of relationships, right?
Mm-hmm. Quite a few, if I must say.
And
none of them good, if I might add. Oh.
Yeah. Now, I'm only bringing this up because recently I got out of a relationship that I actually really loved. I loved being with her, and I loved doing things, being next to her. I was astonished to find who I was in life. And I loved her with everything. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't find anyone. It just means that I've probably not found the one. And a lot of people say that, but to be honest, that's the most truest thing I've ever heard.
Another thing to actually experience it.
And chat, one thing too, I will, if you guys send video chat or voice messages on PlayStation or on Insta or anything, I'll play it for this podcast and we'll talk about it if you guys want to or not. I will text back saying, do you want me to play the audio on stream or not? Because I want this podcast not to just be us talking. I want it to be everyone in chat getting together and just talking about life.
Yeah,
And that's the
talking about life could actually open a lot of doors for a lot of people. And I mean, I think that's what everyone needs more than anything, kind of, is uh, help with stuff that they're dealing with. And I think everyone just needs a little bit of reassurance that everything will be okay, but you have to walk through the steps to help make everything okay. Alright, like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, it'll get easier, like, because no, it won't. Life goes on, and it only gets harder and harder, and the more, like, you go through the, better you get at kind of not thinking about it. Doesn't mean that it's not still there. You know, like you could stay happy all your life, and then when you hit a certain age, it's just like, I really don't feel like being here anymore. Like, I don't see the meaning to this life. Like, I really, really don't understand why I was put on this earth in the first place. And when you start thinking like that, it gets to a point where it starts really breaking you down, and it will negatively affect you. No matter how much it may not seem like it, it will negatively affect you, I promise. And once it starts negatively affecting you, it's never going to be good, I'll say. Because, uh, uh, well, if I'm being honest, and everyone knows this, anything that negatively affects you is never good.
Yeah. Never. And this is gonna get a bit different of a way. Just never treat yourself like you're nothing. We have a voice message that someone would like for us to play in the stream. So
sorry for interrupting you in your live stream, but by the way, I have two things to say. Can I please join your Minecraft world? And I've never had a COVID vaccine, or had one of those.
it's when I say you don't need a COVID vaccine, I don't mean to you don't need one. My whole thing for it is that you can have one, do what you think you want to do. For me, I have no idea what to do. We all, as people, spend a lot of time worrying about things, which is never going to be good in life, but we all can't get anywhere without it.
I dare say, people spend too much time worrying about things that they can't control instead of worrying about things that they actually can. And it's sad to see, because things you can control are the things that are more worth your time, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
You could spend your whole life worrying about only the things you can control, and then all of a sudden one day focus on, like, put all that one day, all the time in that one day, and focusing on one small thing that you can't control, and that could still seriously impact your life for the worse. And it's I'm saying this because, like, out of experience, because I've actually done that before. Like, I had like a good streak about a single thing I couldn't control, and then one.
Sorry, chat. Sorry, chat. Sorry also for cutting you off, Caleb. But chat won't be able to hear you for a second. I'm doing one thing. We all, to go off of what he was saying, sorry for cutting him off, chat. PlayStation doesn't like me, like, going to parties and stuff. We all live through things. We all go through it all. Just live your life.
Yeah, basically. That's like the biggest thing I was trying to get at, actually. Yeah.
Now, again, sorry to backtrack to where we were, but relationships.
Oh
yeah. I was in a relationship where I felt like I loved her, and I really did. But I didn't know how to show my love.
Alright.
I'm that type of person to be clingy, and because I've been in really bad relationships before, I can't. I don't show myself enough self-love. I learned to love myself after being with her for within that year and 3 months, and it made me feel happy. It made me feel great. I loved spending time with her and everything, but then just actually last week on Friday, we stopped. She stopped feeling love, and that's really what hurt me. And it wasn't anything bad. It's the fact that I spent so much time trying to make sure that she got the love and affection that she deserved.
Yeah.
I spent so much time making sure that she was the one, and I guess I got blinded by the fact of who I actually was as a person.
And I'll be honest with you, that's a thing that happens quite a bit. It doesn't matter who you are, who you're with, why you're with them. As a person, it's very, very easy to get blinded by things like relationships and love.
And it really can.
It can. It gets real easy in life to get clouded by those things. And I know you've probably heard this a million times from a million other people. It is better to worry about yourself first. You know what that means?
Yes. And that was, within this past week, that was actually a really hard thing for me to learn. I've been, and that's the reason why, chat, if you've seen my past upload schedule, it's the reason why I haven't really been streaming a lot. It was the reason why I haven't really done a lot of stuff. It's because I've been super down lately, and I've been trying to make the best of it. And that's all I can do.
Exactly, that's all you can do.
I mean...
No, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you all the things you want to hear just because you're my friend. No, I'm going to sit here and tell you, like the name of the podcast, Real2Real. Like, for real, like, what's really up with all the relationships and shit. Relationships are just kids, and I know you're 19, I'm 17, but relationships are just kids trying to feel like they're older than they really are. And that's all it really is. If I'm being honest, that really is all there is to it for people like kids our age. And but the thing is, it doesn't matter who you are, you're always gonna at least have a few moments in your lifetime where you search for validation, where you search for a different kind of love that you've not had yet. And it's normal. It's completely normal.
It really is. Especially in this day and age.
A lot of people, oh yeah. And I'll tell you a common thing that you can see almost everywhere in the world today. People get all upset over not getting with the people they want to be with. And they don't realize the bigger picture. Like, you could still be with that person later on in life. But right now, eventually you and your significant other will realize, or will have realized, or will realize eventually, right now isn't the time for relationships or dating. Hell, we're still young. Like, we could go around experimenting and find out, like, different pieces of booty that we ain't never had yet. You know, like, we gotta explore a little bit. You know, have some fun while we're still young. I'm not trying to make it sound like a sexual thing or a fucking womanizing thing. No, not in the slightest. Well, I'm not saying that in the slightest. What I'm saying is, we're still young. We have our whole lives ahead of us. You know?
Exactly.
Given that we could potentially, yes, I know, you could go to, like, both of us at the same time could die tonight in our sleep. Who knows? Who knows? But that's why you gotta live life like there's no tomorrow. Even if you have restrictions, even if you have authority that's trying to bind you and blind you to all your rights, all things that you can really do in your life, right? Well, it really, really just depends on one person. Want to know who that one person is?
Yourself.
Exactly. That's the correct answer all the way. You know what love is? And I'm not saying this to sound heartless or to act all cool or whatever, or get scientific on you. Love is chemicals, dude. If you want the truth, that's what it really is. It's chemicals.
And if I'm being completely honest, I still haven't found the one, I don't think. I
Oh
thought
no,
I
definitely,
did.
definitely not. You're 19, right?
My whole thing when I'm saying that
The
I want
the
the one,
average amount of people who stay with the people they're with, either in or just fresh out of high school, is like 1 in 10 million. It's rare. It's extremely fucking rare. Like, yes, you may feel that you love this person deeply and truly, but at the end of the day, it's just chemicals in your brain, and it's your natural instinct telling you, hey, you found someone who's a good match for you. Because contrary to popular belief, humans are just as much animal as they are sentient, living, capable beings of defending themselves, living their lives, and adapting, right?
Mhm.
They're still mammals, they're still some sort of animal, right?
Mhm.
Well, every animal has the need to mate, and has the need to reproduce, or I'll say the instinct to reproduce. It's like cats in heat or dogs in heat and stuff like that. You'll know when you found the right one. You'll know when you like really, really reach the moment where you're ready to mate with that person. You'll know. People say it's a feeling you get, or that it's just like common knowledge that you'll understand like when you get there or whatever. No, it's not that simple, my friend. Not in the slightest. If it were that simple, people wouldn't be getting into situations that they get into nowadays. That's just me being brutally honest with
And that's a really hard topic to go to, especially in today's day and age where you see people around you falling in love. You see people around you always finding someone, always being with someone.
you. Here, let me correct you right quick. You find people all the time in this day and age who claim they found the one, who claim that they fell in love, who claim that they're going to be with this person forever. And then what do they go and do? 9 times out of 10.
Can't really answer that, to be honest.
Huh?
I can't really answer that myself, to be honest.
They go off. A lot of the times they cheat. And if they don't cheat, then they get cheated on. 9 times out of 10, majority is that. And it's really sad to see. I'm gonna be serious here. It really, really is sad to see because no one should ever get cheated on. I mean, yes, I believe in love just as much as the next person. Like, quite literally, I am somewhat of a romantic myself. And it's and it pains me when I hear stuff like, oh, I really don't think I could do it, like I really don't think I'm ever gonna find the one. Like, I know I say it all the time. That's because I genuinely don't think I'll ever find the one, if I'm serious.
But everyone will eventually.
I mean, maybe, maybe not. You got people who every day die alone. Don't you?
Yes.
And how many times do they get into a relationship before they finally say, hey, I'm done?
A lot.
Exactly. So let this show you, right here, right now, that just because you've been in relationships, such, and that you've been in situations where you feel or think that you love somebody. Let this show that you can't always trust that. You can't always trust the feeling that you found someone that you love, or that you found the one, or whatever. You can't always trust that fact. If you could go off and trust that fact, just because you felt that it was true, whether at the time or in general, where do you think the human race should be if they all followed that same instinct and felt, hey, I found the one, this is like my feeling telling me that I really have found the one, and like I'm gonna be with them forever, this and that. Where do you think the world would be?
10 feet under.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that to be a bummer or a buzzkill or anything. I'm really not. I'm saying this to be real with you, and in hopes that you'll heed this message and actually take into account what I'm saying to you. Because I know you listen. I know you're not one who just like blindly just leaves stuff alone. Or I know you're not one who blindly just ignores stuff, like blatantly just tells someone that you're listening and then just goes off and does their own thing. I know
Yeah,
you're not
no.
that kind of.
I always try and listen to as many people as I can because I want to get a full story behind people. I want to know what really makes people like think. I've always been like that.
It's good that you really want to know like what makes people think and stuff like that. It really is good. It's good to see that you're that kind of person. You know, you want to know something? You go anywhere today in society, trying to look for people who are the same way, and tell me how many you find. Like genuinely, like if you go off looking for people like yourself in today's society, I want you to tell me how often, like, would you find someone that matches your interests, that matches your personality, matches your beliefs, matches basically everything that you stand for.
For me, not many.
Exactly. Same goes for me too. I don't find people almost at all who match the same wavelengths of me, right? And I mean, that's just part of being human. You'll never, ever, ever find your perfect match. You'll always have moments where you either have little mishaps or arguments or quarrels or whatever with the one you love. And everyone likes to say and think, oh, I'm never going to fight with the one I love, like this and that, like it's not going to be possible, I'm not going to let it happen. Motherfucker, I've been saying that shit since I was out of the womb. And that shit still be happening. Everyone has fights with the ones they love. Doesn't matter why, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where. You're always going to have a fight with somebody. If they won't really agree with whatever you're wanting to believe, or they won't really believe anything that you say, or just because one of you wants to go off and cheat, or one of y'all like looks at someone else the wrong way, or whatever. People always find a way to make stuff about themselves, to always make something someone else's fault. You always find a way to really put someone under.
Alright, well, with all that really being said, I think that's actually going to have to be where this stream ends, with this first podcast of the day, or first podcast ever for this channel. I think that's where this is going to end. We will pick up everything that we were talking about, probably most likely in the next one. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Alright, well, and as with all being said, chat, we hope you all have a great day, even if you guys are watching this later in on YouTube as a video. We hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next podcast. See you guys then.
See you guys.